Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to this space of growth. So, in the previous video, we were talking about, I was telling you my story of 2023 and, generally how you need to evaluate your 2023, forgive yourself, and let's move on. And you see, part of the things of on how to move on is changing. It's changing. What do I mean? I mean that, you see, the moment you get to the point where you've evaluated yourself, found out that, okay, 2023, this happened, that happened, this happened, and you want to now move on and be better, you're going to have to change yourself. You're going to have to change some things about yourself. Not all of us are good at change. Actually, change is not a good thing. No one loves change. No one loves change. No one wants to disturb the status quo. No one wants to disturb the constant. Because change is a thing that destabilizes. So you need to have a thicker skin and learn to move on and learn to change. Because in changing is when you will grow. You see, even naturally as we grow, we change. So for some of you, when you were younger, you were light skin, and as you've grown, you become darker. As I have grown, I've become fatter. As you've grown, for some of you, maybe you've grown hips, you've grown beards. That's change. So if God can know that for you to grow, you need to change, then who are we? As human beings, we need to change. We can't continue saying, this is me, allow me as I am. My dear, the world will leave you. And this is a space of leaders where we have to be candid and tell the truth. We need to change. I, for one, some of the things I had to change over the years is how I dress. I hate dressing up. I don't know if I've said this before, but those close to me know. I hate dressing up. Dressing up is hard work. It's tedious. If it were up to me, I would throw on a certain dress, just do my hair like a puff and move. But because I know that I am a leader, I'm going to spaces, and before I open my mouth, before people know the matter that comes out of my mouth, they'll first see me. I have learned to dress up. This year, one of my targets is, it's actually on my vision board when I was drawing my vision board for this year. The first thing was to make sure that I am looking good every single day. Whether it's a weekend or I am looking good. Whether I'm inside the house or outside my house, I should be looking good. Like Instagram good. It's a vision. It's for me. It's a goal that I want to, So we have got to change as leaders, and if I'm being honest, it's not easy to change, but you're a work in progress. You're a work in progress. You have got to grow. Now that we've identified that we need to change, you now need to identify what are some of those things you need to change in your life. For me, this year I am changing the spaces I'm in. I'm changing how I want to be in more growth spaces. In more area, in more spaces that push me, that pull me, that leave me uncomfortable for me to grow. And one way, so far what I have done is I have enrolled for School of Practical Business because I am a leader that leads an organization, that leads a business. I want to grow my businesses, I want to grow the organization, and to have a business empire. And so I've had to enroll for it. It's something that I wanted to enroll for last year. But because of fear, I told you that last year I lived my entire year in fear. Because of fear, I didn't enroll. But this year I said, you know what? I don't know where the tuition is going to come from. I am enrolling. So I've enrolled for School of Practical Business. That is something because it's a growth environment. The other is I am enrolling for mentorship. those one-on-one personal mentorships. I'm enrolling for that because I really want a one-on-one coach to push me, to help me grow and get to a point where I can also help others grow. So that is it. So you need to first of all change your environments. Now go to the level you want to go at, the people that have got there before you. Get yourself into those spaces. Get yourself into those spaces. The other thing is this year I want, for me, someone out there may not understand it, but for me this year I want to be healthier. I want to eat healthy because I realized that one of the things that affected me last year was my mood. And I did some bit of reading and I realized sometimes the mood is because of what you eat, of lack of exercises, So this year I want to be healthier by doing exercises, doing more exercises, doing meditation. I recently stocked my fridge with only healthy food. And when I stocked my fridge with only healthy food, I looked at it and I'm like, okay. It was a thing of, and if I'm honest, I bought these things when I think I bought them on a Sunday, and today is what? But you can count how many times I have eaten them, but yeah, they're there. Don't they? I wake up and cook. So yeah, I want to live more healthy this year. And yeah, so first step is stock my fridge with healthy food and reduce on my ordering, my takeaway. Oh my God, someone out there, I don't know if you understand me, but I don't I just have to say, I don't like home cooked food for more than one time. Like if I eat home cooked food for lunch, I don't want home cooked food for dinner. If I eat home cooked food today, I don't want home cooked food tomorrow. Like no matter how good you cook it, I don't want it. So last year I ordered in junk. Like I was doing lunch junk, dinner junk, breakfast junk. So for me to live healthy, I'm intentionally reducing my junk intake. It's hard because I love junk. Like junk for me eating junk is therapy. For me, when I'm stressed, I one of the things I do when I'm stressed is I stress eat. And that's also something bad that I'm working on. I stress eat. I can get my piece of chicken, and as I'm taking that bite, the feeling, the calmness it gives me, it's heaven. But yeah, I need to change. I need to live healthy. So yeah, by the grace of God, I will live healthy by the grace of God. Oh wow, this is amazing. Yeah, but I need to live healthy, so I put doing exercises on my schedule at least 3 times a week. Eating healthy, drinking a lot of water. Drinking water has never been my problem for me. It's never been my problem, but drinking a lot of water. Sleeping has never been a problem for me. It's God-given. God gives sleep to those He loves. He loves me so much through sleep. Yeah. And then also the other thing I want you and I to change is the environment, the people we allow into our environments, to speak into them. Last year I made the mistake of allowing anyone to speak into my life. Anyone to speak into it. This year I am going to jealously guard my space. That by the time I sit down to have a conversation with you and you are speaking into my life, it's not negative. Not that I don't want negative. Not that I don't want hard conversations. I want the hard conversations. They make us grow. But this year I'm going to intentionally choose who speaks into my life. I will never forget on the 2nd of December, I was in a lot of pain. I had been sick, but you see, I had been sick for an entire month and no one knew that I was sick. God, like I had been sick for an entire month and no one knew that I was sick, but I still reported to work every day of the day. Every day, as sick, as battling depression. I was in a lot of pain. So the term had ended on 1st of December, and that night of 1st of December, I remember going to the hospital and they gave me a lot of medicine. came back, took it, but the next day, because now like the term had ended and I felt like this whole load had been shifted off me of work. I remember sleeping in my room, and I was feeling so weak, so dizzy, I was feeling so bad, like emotionally. I was in a generally, I was in a bad place. I was in a really bad place. I was staying with people in my house, but they didn't know that I was locked in my house. In my room, the only thing I could do is get out, ease myself, and come back. Like I was in a very bad place that day. And like I froze I froze my WhatsApp. I don't know how many of you do it, but yeah. Good. I froze my WhatsApp, like freeze. I don't want to see any WhatsApp messages. So I was watching movies on my phone. And then I by mistake I unfroze WhatsApp. By mistake. And when I unfroze WhatsApp, the very first message came in a certain group. And it was a really long message. And the whole message was about me and how I am the worst person they have ever seen. I read this message. Remember, I'm already in a bad place. And when I read this message, I broke down. I broke down because I was already in a bad place emotionally, as having identity crisis of who I am. And then this message comes in. And then there were people confirming it now. And for me, that message just, if I wasn't in that place, I would have rubbed it off. And in that particular place, it hurt a lot. A lot that I just broke down, and it wasn't, the feeling just wasn't. So what am I saying? That this year I am going to intentionally control who speaks into my life, who comes into my space. And I would like you to also do the same. Because not everyone that speaks into your life is worth to speak into it. Not everyone that is in your life has the authority to speak over it. I'm not saying don't have hard conversations, have them. But then now we need to tune our minds to who we are, not what they think we are. So for me, that is something my space is going to be guarded jealously. It's going to be like guarded jealously. By the time I sit down with you and you're having a conversation about me, to me, I will have vetted you. I don't know how many times, but I will have vetted you. So, guard your space jealously. Let not everyone just, because these words hurt. People cannot know it, but words actually hurt. And you see, the thing about us being leaders is, for some reason, leaders, we've mastered the art of showing people that we are fine. We've mastered the art of showing people what they want to see. And we never show them what is in the background, the struggles we have. And you see, the world that we live in does not want to understand, because by the time you're a leader, you're supposed to have thick skin, and which you are supposed to have. Because as a leader, if you don't have thick skin, then I don't know this thing called leadership is not yours. If you are a leader and you don't have thick skin, leadership is not yours. Just stay there and be a people pleaser. But you see, your thick skin will always be tested on how thick it can go, how thick it is. And as much as you have thick skin, you're also a human being. You get hurt. You have feelings. You have emotions. So you need to guard your space jealously. So because I know that this year I am going and glorying, but energetic not near me. If I tell you something and you tell me it can't happen, know that I am blocking you. I am not talking to you again. I am talking to those who believe that yes, you can go. That is one of the things I love about my mother. I celebrate my mother every day because she's one person, however crazy it is, she knows you can do it. If you tell her, Mommy, tomorrow I'm going to build a skyscraper, she's like, yes, my daughter, you can do it. That is like, that's one thing I love about her. She knows you can do anything. So guard your space jealously. This year, I want you to change. I would like you to change how you relate with God. God needs to be your everything. When I was evaluating myself, I realized that the time I went into this whole identity crisis and depression is the time I had stopped reading the word and praying regularly. You know, when I started reducing the hours I used to pray and listening to the word and reading my Bible, that is when the devil started to creep in. As much as the whole year I had lived it with fear, but to get down to this deep end, it started gradually. I started reducing my time with God. I started reducing how I read the word. I started feeling so busy to pray, so tired to pray. And slowly, before I knew it, I had dug myself into a ditch that I was now not strong enough to pull myself out of. So this year, I need you to, leaders, let me be quite honest with you. From my experience, I've been around the block for quite some time. And by the grace of God, ever since I was a child, God has put me into spaces to lead. And I've come to realize that when I am with God, I am assured of success. You see, the Bible tells us that you move from glory to glory. The Bible tells us in Deuteronomy 28 that you are above and not beneath, you are the head and not the tail, that you're blessed in the coming and in the going, you're blessed in the city, you're blessed in the country. And you see, this is the word of God, and I want you to believe it for yourself. Know who God says you are. Know who God says you are and affirm yourself every day. It's not wrong to affirm yourself and pray, because God will always give you the vision. Someone said, I don't know who it was, but I was listening to someone and they said, it's his vision, it's his provision. God will always provide for his vision. If he has put something on your heart, God will always provide for you. He will always bring you the people to carry out his vision with you. So I need you to trust God this year. I need you to rely and know that without him, I'm not going anywhere. Like, God needs to be your anchor. Like, if there's one thing that you need to do this year, I need you to pray more. Me this year, I plan on praying more. Spending more time in prayer, waking up way earlier than the time I'm supposed to wake up. Because when I'm praying, God will give me visions. He will give me a word. He will tell me, now do this. I will give a testimony here. I don't know if I've given it here, but if just in case, back in 2000, when was lockdown? 2020, yes, 2020. Back in 2020, in 2020, I got into I was promoted into deputy head teacher. And when I was promoted to deputy head teacher, lockdown happened. So when lockdown happened, I started to know God, reading the word of God, slowly by slowly, knowing God is like this, God is like that, like that. I started reading the Bible. Then 2021 came again, second lockdown happened, and now 2021 is when I sealed the deal and gave my life to Christ. And I remember while this one time I was asleep as in my home and I was praying. I don't remember particularly what it was, but I just remember God giving me two names of two people, and by that time they were just teachers. They were just mere teachers. We had administrators who had contracts that we knew, they can't break their contracts. They were performing, they were good. We had no problem with them. But God gave me these two names, and I remember the Holy Spirit telling me, promote these two people and make them administrators. And when he told me, at that time, because I was new in Christianity, I didn't understand. I didn't understand what it was. I didn't understand what he was telling me. I didn't know what it was, but I just know that I was obedient. Even when I was obedient, I didn't know I was being obedient. I called these two people, I'm like, I want to promote you, I want to make you administrators, or things like those. And yeah, they allowed. We talked about salary. My bosses, first of all, refused. No, we already have enough administrators. But I just remember telling God, make a way. I need these people administrators. I actually didn't know God was telling me to make them. Me, I thought it was my head thinking. But yeah, at the end of the day, they became administrators, and administrators with no titles, but they were administrators. And we started working. But fast forward today, one is my deputy, another is my dean. And they're one of the most hardworking staff I've ever had. Hardworking and loyal. They're one of the staff that I know that can do anything for me. Very loyal, very hardworking. Whatever time I call them, they will pick. They are very sendable. They are always correcting me. They're like, they are support. Even when they don't understand my vision, they will support it. Even when they are not happy, they will do it. So now is when I look back and I'm like, God, So as a leader, you need God, because for me now, those two are my testimony, because how I promoted the people, right now they are one of our best staff. Even sometimes the board is like, these people are so good. And in mind I'm like, but you didn't want to approve their promotion. So now but hey, just to say that you need God. The decisions I've had to make, and after making the decision, I'm like, have I ever made this decision? It looks too good to be me. So for me, it has been God. And this year I want to increase my time with God, my relationship with God. And as a leader, I would encourage you to also do the same. Yeah, I just got an idea of a leader's prayer space, a space for leaders to pray. May God just widen that vision. Anyway. So things were changing. We're changing our spaces, getting into growth environments. We're changing the whole space into our life. We're changing our relationship with God. We're changing and being more healthy this year. And then this year we're traveling more. I don't know that saying in Uganda, but I don't know it exactly in Uganda, but it says that when you translate it, you'll always think your mother is the best cook until you've eaten outside. For me, I have had a chance to travel by the grace of God, just around Uganda. But this year I want to travel more and intentionally and see new spaces, because every time you see new places, your mind widens to possibilities. Your mind widens to different things. So this year I want to travel more. I want to travel more intentionally, travel more, save more for travel. So if you're a leader, I would encourage you to travel more. You need to, first of all, start with your vicinity. Start with Kampala, Uganda. There are places in Kampala you've not been to. For some of you, have not been to the Uganda Museum. You need to be there. For some of you, you've not been to certain rich environments. You need to be there. Start to eat lunch in different places. Get yourself into different rich environments for you to start thinking rich. This year, I don't want a poverty mind. This year, I don't want a poverty mind. I don't want a poverty mind. But yeah, it's traveling more and putting myself out there into rich environments. And as leaders, you will always, what's that thing called? You will always reproduce yourself. If you are a leader that does not travel, that does not explore, that does not see the world, that means the people you lead will also know to do the same. This year I told my immediate team, my team of teams, I need each of them to take a vacation. I need each of them to take at least a 1-week vacation somewhere from their money. I told it to them and I told them it's part of the goals. So they need to start in January and save. I don't care if they take the vacation in June, but they have to take a vacation on their own money. If they have family, they are taking their family. You know why? Because I need them to go and see the world. Because the moment they see the world, they will come with a whole new perspective and they will become better leaders. And that alone will push me and myself to be a better leader. So it's more like, because I want to grow, I have to force them to grow. Because if I don't force them to grow, then I will also not grow. One of the testimonies about my team of teams is last year, all of us managed to buy land. It was a goal we had set. I had told them we're going to buy land. Each of you are going to buy land. You're going to buy land. Whether you die buying it, you're going to buy it. And I am glad that yesterday when we were having a meeting and evaluating our 2023 personally, each of them told me they bought land. And I thank God that even amidst my crisis of last year, I bought land. So, as a leader, push your people to grow. Push them to grow. Don't just grow alone, push them to grow. This year I pushed my immediate deputy to do a course he started last year. Another one is enrolling again. So push them to grow. 2024 is a year of growing, it's a year of going and glory. And for us to go, for us to glory, we have to change. So write a list of things you're going to change. A list of things you're going to change. And let me tell you, put the list somewhere and stick to it. No matter what, stick to it. Stick to it, don't quit. Even if it becomes hard, stick to it, don't quit. Don't quit. One thing I can assure you is you will not fail. You will not fail. So don't stay seated, get up, go and glory, go and shine. Go and let the world see you shine. The world has nothing on you. Go shine and make God proud. Go shine and make us proud. We need to change the story of our continent. We need to change the story. And we can only change the story if we get up and change and grow. And I wish you the very best in this journey as you're going, in this journey as you're changing. Be intentional about it. Be intentional about it. Change is not easy, but be intentional about it. And God bless you so much. I love you so much. God bless you. Follow me on all my social media handles. My name is Brenda Odisha on all my social media handles. God bless you. Have a lovely day. And I wish you the very best in this journey that you've started.